Hey, this is Jonathan Peters at Global Gathering, and I'm hanging out with ProfessionalRockstars.com.
Hey, what's up? I'm backstage here with Jonathan Peters. How you doing, man?
Hey, baby, what's going on?
Doing good. Nice set.
Oh, thank you.
So, are you going to be here for the rest of the conference? You going to go back to New York?
Yeah, I have to be here. I'm playing Nikki Beach on Saturday, day and night, and then I'm doing Crowbar 24 hours.
When? What day?
That's going to be Monday night.
Closing?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's nice to get a long set in it, you know?
Yeah, we're actually working a lot with Crowbar during the entire conference, so I'll see you again after this. Now, I personally have seen you spin hundreds of times, and the samples, the loops, the effects, you know, you're kind of like the Jimi Hendrix of DJing to me. If you don't mind me saying, I mean, I know that's like a really big statement to make.
But I understand, thank you.
But to be able to run effects and pay attention to everything that's going on, you know, explain to me how you got into, from just using vinyl to effect, loop, effect, and everything else.
Well, you know, I always played with vinyl my whole life, and after a certain point, I felt like almost stagnated. I mean, I could work records, but there's only so much you could work records, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of opened the doors now to my booth and what I have going on in there. And it's just that, you know, because of being a producer and just playing live, I could just, you know, remix live and effects and do that things live. It just comes natural to me now.
How many pieces of gear do you have in the booth?
Oh, man. I travel with it's like 11 bags. Yeah, it's a lot. 2 G5s and, you know, effects processors and loopers and, you know, just it's crazy.
How?
They have custom controllers.
Yeah, name them, because you know how the tech heads are. Let them know.
Yeah, it's all custom. I had all custom made stuff in my booth. Custom MIDI controllers, custom, just, you know what I mean? Just things that I need to do what I want to do.
Since 9/11, with the whole unfortunate terrorism and everything, it's made it's made for traveling with gear tougher than it used to be.
It's murder.
So how do you go around all of that?
Well, you know what it is? I'll only play in my booth now, because, you know, when I was at Sound Factory for all those years, I was at Sound Factory for 7 years, you know, and I was in my zone. I was so far in my zone, and wherever I went anywhere, it wasn't at the level of where I could play, you know, the clubs. So it's like mandatory that my booth comes. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. Do
they just rent it for you and they have it? They have all those pieces of gear provided, or do you bring it?
No, I bring it. I bring everything myself, and, you know, I only play on my equipment.
Okay.
You know, I have custom turntables, and, you know, it's like, you know, my booth is like, you know, like almost like $80,000 now.
Wow.
And just gear. Because a lot of the custom shit is really expensive, you know what I mean?
How $80,000 for a custom booth? That's a lot of money to be traveling around.
Yeah, I understand, but you know what, it is what it is, because I like to give the fans 100% no matter what. And if I'm not in my booth and I'm in my zone, you know, it's like if I'm at 90%, I'll walk away unhappy. You know what I mean?
Now, after Sound Factory, then you took over Exit, and you had Blow for a minute, and then you went over to Spirit, and now you've been kind of bouncing around. Are you enjoying the freedom of not being locked down?
Yeah, you know what's funny? It was so crazy, because I was doing those 25-hour and 36-hour parties every week for so many years. I thought that was kind of like what I do. And when Sound Factory, when I was done, and then I bought Exit, and then realized I didn't want to be a club owner.
Right.
And then Spirit, then my manager really goes, Jonathan, you know, you've been a resident for so many years, why don't you not do it? And I was like, not play every week? So it was kind of like a shock to me, but, you know, I can't lie, I miss playing every week. That was it's like, that's my release, you know? But my parties now in New York.
Slamming.
Oh my God, like, you know, 10,000 people. My birthday we did like 10,000 people. Mm-hmm. So it was like, hallelujah, you know what I mean? So I guess not playing as much, you know, brought the fans, you know, double, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Makes them miss you more.
Yeah.
One of the things about covering the conference for me that I've been excited about talking to the DJs about has been the transition from the rave scene till now. So many of the DJs now it's all clubs, and the clubs have gotten bigger. From, you know, 10 years ago, you couldn't really go into a club that had 5,000 people.
No,
now they're everywhere.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've always been part of the club scene in New York City. I'm from New York City, so
yeah, we're spoiled.
Yeah. I was never a rave. I've never. Actually, what's funny? Today was the first time in my life, being DJ 20 years, I ever played for an hour. It was the first time.
Now?
Today.
Oh, no kidding.
I've never in my life played with anybody.
How many events are you doing at conference?
I'm doing the 2. I'm doing the Nikki Beach Club and then the Monday. But I always play by myself. So tonight, when they said do an hour, it was like, to me, it was like, well, an hour. What does that exactly mean? Because, when I play, it's about the party, you know what I mean? It's about,
the journey.
It's about the journey, and it's about, giving people, a journey and a party, and not really so much one style of dance music, you know what I mean? So in playing an hour, it's almost like, to me, I'm like, well, it's like almost like, what's the point in a sense, for me, because what I'm used to, what I've done my whole life, is just so different, So it's cool. I mean, I enjoyed myself, but, it was strange to me,
Yeah.
I just got on, like, the first half hour, before I went on, some guy was playing like, heavy trance, like 140, and I was like, well, I'm not going to start there, you know what I mean?
Now that you're not doing the residency and you're doing your monthlies, you know that you're going to have a big event coming up. How many weeks in advance do you prepare for all the records and songs that you want to play for everyone?
Well, it's funny, it was different then than it is now. Because when I was playing then, I was playing every week. So it was, it was always like kind of a more natural thing. Now, with my new booth or what I'm doing, I'm kind of like, remixing and producing live. So it's kind of like, I'm spending more time in the preparation, to turn people out, So it's kind of like this and this and this. And really, I don't really kind of rehearse anything, It's not like that. But just have my tools in order. So, if I'm feeling something, I can go in any direction and just feel safe,
Now, feeling safe, what are your top 5 save your ass dance records?
Oh, I don't have one.
You don't have one?
Well, you know what?
And you remix a lot of your own stuff.
Yeah, you know what it is? When I'm not feeling it, I'll just take a fucking vocal record and work the shit out of it, and that will put me right back in.
But you don't have a selection of, I know for sure this track. No.
Nah, it's so funny. It's so funny. I don't really play like that. I don't really play with like, it's all about the fans and all about the people, but more than anything, it's about me and, and turning myself out, So it's kind of like, if I'm not turning myself out, how am I supposed to be turning? You know what I mean? How am I turning anybody else out? So that's kind of I really like. You know what I mean? But most of the time, I like vocals. I really do. I love to sing. I love to put my hands in the air.
I agree. I'm down with vocals.
So vocals. If I ever get like, crazy and I get like, I ain't feeling it, I'll just fucking turn out some, a new vocal, what I live for, and just work it. I've been known to play records for 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I got no problem with that. On the real, you're doing those long parties, the fans, they live for that shit, So it's like sometimes, if I don't feel it, I'll do that and just work it. And then by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, it's on, you know what I mean?
How many tracks do you produce a year?
Well,
now, how many tracks do you produce that get released, and then how many tracks do you produce that you keep for yourself as your bombs?
It's funny. I do a lot of remixing, a lot of stuff, but, for the most part, the stuff that gets released is usually the more mainstream stuff. Like the stuff that I play, I don't even, I keep it for myself because that's my stuff, So, a lot of time the Tova just come out, it's more of a mainstream thing, but that's what, I want to share with everybody, you know what I mean? And some of my close friends, some of the really bigger DJs, all like, yeah, you go, Miss Thing, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's like, that's kind of my, my little inner secret there.
Yeah, I actually feel you, Peter Rahofer, Junior Vasquez, Danny Tenaglia, you all, because you do longer parties than most other DJs, you have a lot of your own self-produced remixes that aren't ever released, and when you're sitting on the dance floor, it's like, yo, where can I find this? No, you can't. That's mine.
I call them moments. Yes, that's you know what I mean. So I don't really like, I don't even tell people what they are most of the time because I don't really, I don't care if anybody plays my records. You know what I'm saying? To be honest,
you're lucky to even be in that position to say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's nice going out, but it really doesn't matter because it's all about the fans.
Yeah, and with the fans, you're also one of the few DJs that involves yourself with the performances that go on during your show. Many DJs, their egos can't handle taking away from the main.
It's all about the party. It's all about the party.
It's about the party.
It's about the party. It's about the door. It's about the decor. It's about the shows. It's about the club experience on a whole. My whole thing is, my saying is, you're as good as your last party. Straight up. That is the vibe. And that is the truth. If you don't believe that, then you know you learn the hard way.
Now, when the performers come on stage, are you paying? When you start seeing what they're doing, do you start tweaking?
Most of the time, I don't even notice.
Oh yeah.
I'm so like doing my thing that they come and go. Sometimes I catch it. I'm like, oh shit, work it out. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm doing my thing, and I'm just like, so focused on what I'm doing that it's just like I know that the people at my party. I work with pros, so I don't really have to worry about the shows. I know they're going to be impeccable. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I know the decor is going to be perfect, so I don't really have to worry about those things. Because I don't really. We spend a lot of money at the parties to make.
What's the cost for a party?
Oh,
Go ahead. Give him a roundabout.
On my birthday party, just on decor and shows, we spent $50,000.
Wow.
Just on that.
Just on that.
Just on that. That's not including sound. That's not including lights.
Sure.
So but it's important because it's all about the music, but it's about entertainment. And what separates my parties from most people is those things. They come out and go, man, I was there and they had some fucking show, and it was just like, it was madness what was going on,
It gives them something else to go home to remember.
Yeah,
of course the music was great. It's always about the music, but
it always is. But you know what? I'm not this like egomaniac. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's not. It's about the party.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It
Thank
really
you.
is.
No, really, thank you.
And I being a a DJ from New York City, being born and raised in New York City, and when you're born and raised in New York City,
I'm born and raised in New York City.
You learn the hard way, and if it's all about the party, if you don't understand that, a lot of DJs I go out and hear them, I don't feel that energy with them, and I see their I see it suffer, their party suffering, because of that, and that sometimes growing because of that,
Yeah, it's actually one of the things about. I mean, I love the global gathering, and I love the massives for what they are, but when you have the DJ spinning for an hour, compared to 5 hours, that to me, that's the whole thing about the journey. It's like I'm here from beginning until the end, and this guy is going to get a chance to play so many records that's going to take me from here, to there, and the pits and the rises and the falls. It's all about that. So the massives are great to be able to see everybody, to get a taste of what everyone has, but to actually have your night, you're able to go. I won't even go to a party if the DJ's only spending like 2 hours.
No, I understand. For me, that's not the school really that I'm from. I'm from the whole different world.
We have Nikki Beach. We have Crowbar. You're gonna hang out and go to all the other parties and check out the scene.
Probably maybe one or two. I just I have those long parties. One's a 12-hour, one's a 24 hours. So I gotta get it together, honey.
Outside of dance music, hey, you know what? Why not? While I ask, rock and roll concerts. You've been to a lot of concerts, no?
Yeah.
What was your first concert?
My first concert must have been Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Nah, wow, you got to see The Wall, dude. Mine was Michael Jackson's Jackson 5 Victory Tour. Yeah. But The Wall, dude, that's only a couple of years ahead of me. Damn it. So this is Ted E with Jonathan Peters, wrapping it up. Jonathan, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Yeah, man. We're out. Talk to you later.